in when you all
Get in. Welcome to another reading, guys and gals, goddesses and gods. So we're gonna resume the classes again here soon. I've just been doing all that research. I haven't seen the community tab, but regardless of that, we're gonna talk about what Spirit wants to talk about, which is balance and harmony being restored. And the first card out is death. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of good change. There's a lot of endings. There's a lot of beginnings. Death is also a signifier of a beginning as well. These are beginnings happening. Um, I'm hearing shortcomings are called shortcomings for a reason. They're not meant to last for a long time. Yeah. So we have the Four of Wands reverse. And this is kind of just telling me that through this change, through this morph, through this new direction. And I feel like for some of you, you've just been randomly picked up by the divine and placed on what seems to be a new path, but it's actually the correct path. For some of us on the path, we got lost and we went off in other ways. Yeah, with the lovers on the bottom, some of us were picked up and placed back and told, like, this is where you need to go, this is what you need to do, this is where you need to be at this time. These things right now. Yeah, the hangman reverse. It's like you might have been unaware of these things while they were happening, but over time you most definitely kind of seen, yeah, I might have gone down the wrong path. I might have slipped up a little bit. I might have like loosened my grip, or like I might have been confused, or I might have been holding on or to not changing or to this resistance. But regardless, you're on the right path now, but this decrease, this lack energy is a little worrisome. And let's be real, like it is a worrisome thing. It's something that you shouldn't just bottle up and be like, I'm not worried about it. It is something that's a little scary. It happens. It's something that brings us out of balance. But that out of balance energy isn't because we are out of balance. It's because this new bar of energy that our conscious is now fully aware of, and that we know where we're supposed to be, our body is now trying to catch up. And with it doing that, when it uses that energy, it feels like anxiety. It feels like fear, because now we're moving this entire mass, this physical force, through time, through spiritual energies, with spiritual energies. So it feels more intense because there's more intense energies backing why you're moving. And it's not to scare you. It's not to make you feel like this is your final stop and everything's gonna fall off if you don't do these things. No, it's to push you to reach this higher level of energy. And it feels exhausting and it feels like it's done in a short amount of time, but that's because it's so much energy around you that you have to keep up with it. You actually lose track of how much time goes by. And it's not that. And it really is a lot more time than you would think. But again, it's the energy, it's the force, it's the magnetism of the vibration that you're messing with that's causing this rocking of the winds, this wishy-washy energy. This, oh, I'm not sure about this, not sure about that. Those energies, yeah, with the full reverse. And this might keep you from wanting to make a jump. And when I got the full reverse, I seen someone kicking someone into a pool. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I feel like for some of you, you're not making the jump because you feel like you have to have someone like push you off of to do the jump. So be careful of that. But again, there's something that you also might need to nurture before you make this leap. Like, you're running out the door to leave for work or whatever, and you run out, but you forget your keys, so you gotta go run all the way back in the house to find the keys. That's kind of this last minute thing where the divine is like, is there anything else you 100% need to do right now before we go? And this is your checking back, hey, let me make sure I've done all these things. You're not, and it's not like a bad thing, it's not that I have anxiety, it's a double checking. It's to make sure that, am I really ready? Do I have everything? Yeah, with the Page of Wands, you're inspecting. You're seeing if you're ready to move on now, because you're in this energy of feeling ready. You're in this energy of wanting to go through with this change. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna suck, but it's one of those things where it's like, it feels like it's now or never. And it's because it's your soul. Your soul knows that it's time to stand up. Yeah, with the Six of Pentacles reverse, and it's almost like this being taken advantage of is like what will happen on this lower vibrational energy in the Five of Cups, and that kind of yeah, and it sucks. Like I even it's even like it's all up in here. I feel it. It's in the cards, and there's just this regret because you are gonna make it past the cycle. You're gonna complete the cycle. You're gonna wheel of fortune to the world after the Five of Cups. Like after sadness, happiness, and hope arise. Like genuinely, it's really it's like survivor's guilt is how it's really coming through. Like there's this urge of survivor's guilt almost coming up. And there needs to be this backbone of being like, no, it's okay that I did this. Like listen, like they don't want to, or they know like you know, maybe you were there just to teach them to help them open the door so that they could go off on their own venture and learn more about spirituality in that way, or however this is for you. But there's this release, and it's just like, damn, like I'm gonna get there before they are. But it might be because you might have seen people around you work as hard as you have, and you want them to see the best as well too. But this is something where this is like your parade now, and it's so interesting because it's so many things are popping up from my third eye. Like there's some sort of marriage. You could be getting married, but it really feels like, you're getting married and you're looking back at all your friends and like, oh, they're not married, so now we're not going to be able to hang out as much, so I'm leaving them behind. It's that weird energy of like growing up, And I don't mean that in like a condescending way or anything. It's just how life is. But there's like a moving forward where it's just very melancholy, where it's like, yeah, I'm happy that I'm moving forward, but it's like it sucks, you know. But again, it's not that it's a bad thing and that it sucks. It's a bad thing. It's just like there's this energy that you see that's on these other people that you want to help move out, but it's one of those things where that they have to learn it themselves. The Knight of Wands reverse. So like you might be trying to do like helping people last second. It's like it just really feels like getting your bags packed. And like, okay, I got to do all these things real quick. Then after these things, I'm gone. Then I do this and then that. It's like all these plans are happening, but the divine's trying to get you to focus more on you. What do you need to change? Don't worry about anyone else or how anything else is going to happen. Worry about what needs to change with you right now. And allow those changes to occur. Don't be so afraid of the changes. Don't be like, oh, I can't do this right now because XYZ is happening. Yeah, with the three of cups upright and the Knight of Swords reverse, because choosing another option at this time is only going to cause a lot more chaos and mayhem. And this is even like sticking to your word I'm even hearing as well. Like if you said you want to change something, the divine is saying now is the time to change that, because if you end up using that energy or that resource now, you're not going to have it when you deem you need it the most. So there's a need to really pay attention to what you're receiving now, why you're receiving it now, how you're receiving it, and if you're using it, why you're using it, and being careful with it. Because this shift is going to really take you somewhere different. It's going to almost elevate you back up to a higher point of view because you're getting back on track, And it's this cleaning out the gutter energy. It's like cutting ties with people from the past, even if they aren't doing anything negative to you. It's just to keep those types of energies like behind a barrier, which is interesting. It's really good care. It's really good self-care. It's very good to make sure that everything in front and behind is clear. But you've almost grown a little bit paranoid because of it, where you're starting to group people, and this isn't for everyone, of course. Take what resonates, but some people are starting to group some people in categories, which doesn't need to happen. There's this energy of like, it's like you're looking back and you're double checking, but making sure that you don't overlook, and making sure that you're not in the energy of like, oh, my intuition's 100% correct. Like, yeah, your intuition's 100% correct, but you are not 100% correct. And a lot of people really can't listen to their intuition fully, because I mean, if they could, they wouldn't be in the situations where they're in right now, because their intuition would tell them to steer away from it, because as it would be better for their higher self, they could learn the lesson by themselves, all these things. But anyway, it's about this manifestation, this ability within you, and knowing that you have all the tools at this time, and you have been given the ability, the wand, you've been given the green light to go to manifest what you need to do the things that you need to do at this final time. But to know that the energies that you allow through this barrier are going to be with you in this next cycle. So choose wisely. um don't choose energies that are going to irritate you, even if it's like, oh, they only irritate me like once a week. Who cares? This is about, this is justice for you. This is about your justice, your well-being. If you don't want it in your life, you don't want it in your life. If you don't want to be agitated, but like, well, but for this one person, like, why are you putting a condition on it then? Then you're allowing anyone with that same energy to be able to walk through that same door, and you might not like other people with that same energy. You just like that one person because it's a spirit thing, not a fleshly thing. you know it's less of an energetic thing and more of a spirit thing. At that point, you enjoy the spirit's company that they have. It's not necessarily the vibration they have, but a lot of people can have that same type of spirit with around that spectrum, because that spirit follows its own vibration. And that's what I mean by you can be picky choosy, but don't be picky choosy, because it's like, you can pick and choose all you want, but when you find these new levels, it's a new version of that energy. It's a new version of that soul that matches your frequency. So it's only going to be that much of an opposition towards what you're trying to work for. Um, and that's really what you're trying to release, so that you're able to nurture things on the physical. Cutting things out, cutting people out, cutting activities out, so you can focus more on what you need to focus on, and less on um the physical needs, and not the physical needs, but the worldly needs, I should say. As the King of Cups reversed, there's something about the people you're around, the situations or the environment that you're around, that isn't helpful or very beneficial to you or your emotional status at this time. And you're only kind of in it because you feel stuck there. You don't really have, you can't really see another option out or another way out, but it's also because you're binding yourself to that issue. You're almost, because like with the devil, it's like you're very much in this energy of like fear. It's like you're blinded. Your thoughts are moving so much that you're unable to even ground yourself, it seems. So being able to be in your power, and not allowing yourself to be in this devil energy of having your thoughts being inflamed, and your thoughts running around and screaming at you and saying, "Oh, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong," and you'll miss the call, you know. And it's because you have this strong force, this emperor energy inside of you, saying things in you, saying things to you, projecting things around you that are causing like a low vibrational impulse to be received, or just even just a low vibrational attachment to occur. So there's a need to look out for that, because those types of energies, those types of cycles, those types of situations lead to energies of feeling stalls. They lead into situations where things aren't moving forward. They lead into not agreeing with certain things. They lead into wanting to put blame on other people, and to you know attack others. You follow one word, but then you allow yourself to do another almost. You know what I mean? With the Three of Pentacles, again, it's about working with the flow that you're in, and this energy of like, yeah, I forgive and I respect everyone and all these things. You should be open enough to actually do that, and not just say it as like a bandage, because a lot of people do that, and it's very obvious when people do it. And I just pointed out, I'm not saying anyone here is doing it, but still, it's important just to be aware of it, because it's again this energy of like, it's unconditional, but someone yada yada this yada yada that, insert a condition here, that someone might not be seeing or not be understanding, because it's like, again, like an ego thing where they believe it's correct for that thing to happen when it's not, and it's the same energy that they're receiving. And it's just like that kind of cycle that needs to be aware of beforehand. And this could be someone who's about to enter a situation like that needs to be aware of this beforehand, or this could just simply be you leaving situations, all of them that are like this. With the moon, the Nine of Cups reverse, this might have even been people that like hidden relationships, or like people that you haven't talked to in a minute, or just um people from the past that have left like an imprint on you to make you overwork, or like make you feel like you have to do extra things to feel validated, you know. These are like these old energies, these old attachments that are releasing and falling off of you at this time. So give yourself grace. Yeah, because the Ten of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and the King of Pentacles reverse. And it's going to lead you into this like full like alignment, this attunement, um this blessing. You just have to walk away from what's not serving you, um, or your highest good on the physical. With the King of Pentacles reverse, there's a need to drop everything that that's not drop everything that's working against you, especially with the Three of Wands reverse, because there's things running in the background that are keeping you from, and it's not saying it's all keeping everyone, but you know, there's things in the background that have kept, or that you're aware that have kept you, or there's going to be things, you know, take it as it resonates, but there's just things running around the background that you need to be aware of at this time. And the divine wants you to like do that by observing, by changing, not only just by observing, but by really walking in and changing. Because with this new embodiment that you're stepping into, once you step into it, you can't operate on that same wavelength anymore. There's a whole awakening that's going to happen. I need to shuffle 2 more times with this spirit. If there's anything else, no, okay, thought so. But again, it's this grand awakening that's happening like inside of you, and it's needing to be nurtured more. It's needing to be noticed. But we have Gaia Gateway activation, learning experiences, wisdom transmission, and earth intelligence. This could even be doing some Earth Star chakra work to really connect to Gaia or Ki, however you wish you say, and to allow you to receive some natural downloads. Even going outside, you might need to, you know, communicate with the trees, do some meditation with the trees as well, to really receive what the divine has for you. Even getting the abundance from the sun, because we have the central sun right here. Abundance, downloads, regeneration, and success. There's like this drought energy was kind of had to happen for things to regenerate. And in order for things to, you know, to appear again, it must disappear and allow itself to cultivate. That's kind of what's been happening with like your energy, with things around you. So the things that have took a dip, they took a dip so they could grow a bit more. But the reason that it took a minute for it to happen on the physical is because your physical body itself had to catch up to it. It was already manifested in the spiritual. It was already known in the conscious and subconscious, but now the body had to catch up. We had learning of the halls of learning, spirit guides, confirmation, and great lessons. And this is just a lesson of what it is to manifest something on a grander scale, or manifest instead of manifesting like money, manifesting abundance, and knowledge of how to keep that abundance, and freedom of limitations, and things of that nature. Those are the manifestations that we need, instead of the short-term ones. And it's like you're working on those long-term manifestations. You're manifesting differently, using words differently, and it's allowing you to see the difference between past manifestations and these. How the past ones, they came in quicker because it was, oh, we can just do this real quick and it'll be a quick makeup, and then what we're doing here, when we're here, we'll work on everything else. It was a mental plan. Now it's a divine plan where the divine's guiding you, and you're seeing how the divine makes you strip things that are keeping you from reaching the vibration, because the divine knows that you already have everything inside of you. What you don't realize is that everything is inside of you, and you think that there's something missing, when there's actually just something added onto you that doesn't need to be there, that is blocking what's actually supposed to be given to you. So all the divine does is make those things known and more obvious to you, so that it's like, oh shit, I get rid of you, I get my thing. It's a sacrifice, but again, it's not a sacrifice where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna throw someone under the bus and be an asshole to them. It's sacrificing someone for self-love. It's leaving someone that's not good for you in a position where they need to be so that they can better themselves and so that you can move on and move forward. That's the difference. Each side has a sacrifice, even though you don't like hearing the word sacrifice, but there is like, in order for something to be retrieved, it must be traded off. There must be space. And with holding a lot of space, which we can't really do, the soul, the body, the heart can't hold too much. It needs to be very light. That's why everyone says, your heart must be light as a feather. Like, not only is it weight on the scale, but truly it must be light as a feather. Not many things can come in. And you must keep that area light. You must hold things lightly there. If not, you don't have room to manifest. You don't have room to bring in, and all you would have things to do is to push out, pushing out those emotions, crying, detoxing. However, is how we do those things. We have both light codes: light initiation, great teacher awakening, and divine magic. Again, this is something about your inner magic, and like, you may be teaching. This has a lot to do with the Akashic records, too. And it is about being on the right path, and the divine really wanted to like let you know that everything is going fine, you're on the right path, everything's good, you're safe. There's genuinely just a rewriting of everything around you for the sake of keeping everything pure, for the sake of keeping everything as the divine intends it, to keep things as you need it, so that no one's running into your energy and hogging it up, or running in and making you feel like you can't do certain things and ruining all these, like, you know what I mean? Not putting their fucking hands in your cake. The Scary Movie reference. I love that one so much. But it's really like, it's catering to you. But we have love and accept yourself. Thank you, angels, for lovingly guiding me to self-acceptance. I have to take a step back. Thank you, angels, for helping me to step back from what is not serving me. Express your creativity. Thank you, angels, for helping me to express my inner creator. Spirit animal. Thank you, Animal Kingdom, for blessing my path with love. Spiritual abundance. Thank you, angels, for blessing me with your infinite abundance, with the Akashic records. The Akashic records is where all the information is held. It's basically just a hall of everyone's life. It's the hall of existence, basically. It's full of books that have everything from lessons to life, to people's lives, to everything, how things were made to how things will end. It's an entire library of that, and we all have our own special little place in that place. Yeah, it's basically the book of life. But we have spiritual abundance. Thank you, angels, for blessing me with infinite abundance. Peaceful warrior, Archangel Ariel. Thank you, Ariel, for helping me stand my ground with peace. Trust revives, Archangel. I was gonna say Archangel Metatron, so I guess Metatron's up in here now. Okay, thank you, Metatron. But thank you, angels. Today I choose to trust my intuition and your guidance. Live your joy. Thank you, angels, for supporting me as I follow my joy. The miracle of prayer, Archangel Sandalphon. Thank you, Sandalphon, for delivering my prayers to heaven. So, and this is just confirmation. If anyone's made prayers or has been doing any sort of manifestation, any type of magic, anything of that nature, for benefiting yourself before anyone, it's going through the prayer. It's been accepted. It's being put through right now. This is, again, like kind of this energy of like, you've manifested, you've done these things. Now you're just kind of waiting for it to happen. And Divine's trying to tell you, like, everything's happening, but it's in this weird limbo energy that no one really talks about during the manifestation period, but it happens, and you have to kind of go through it the first time, and it's going to be rough, but once you go through it, it's to show you like how the divine keeps you afloat up until that happens, and then when that happens, you go off and take that leap. But we have count your blessings. Thank you, universe and angels, for the blessings in my life. Oh, and thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the donation. It means the world. Thank you so much. And I'm always here to help everyone like go through their darkness. That's the thing. Because the thing that people don't talk about, people like always say like, oh, just go through your darkness and then throw it away. No, the key is in the darkness. That's the thing. God does not reside in the light. God is the light. Why would the light reside in the light? The light would reside in the dark for it to be found. the light cannot be found in the light. The darkness can be found in the light, you know? So the light has to be in the dark. That key is in the dark. It's just been piled up with so much stuff. And that's a weird thing that spirituality, like, we get that twisted up all the time. But that's like, I mean, it's in the yin yang symbol, and everyone wants to point at that for duality, but then they'll go like, oh no, you have to go to the light. No, you have to dig inside yourself and go into the dark. You got to go into the unknown, the untouched, to find these things. Where, I mean, it's all there. So I'm always happy to help people explore these parts of themselves that it is scary and hard to. But again, it's, you do these things because the key is there, and once you find that key, everything's set. Like, everything is already set before you find that key, but all you have to do is unlock that door. And each, you know, and it's a lot. It's multiple locks, because there's multiple things that we lock up inside of ourselves that keep us from opening that door. And once we get all those things figured out, and we understand how we operate, and why we feel, oh, we're scared to do these things, or we feel like we lack in these departments, once we figure out why we think those things, and we understand that it's not a material thing, and it's more of an impression that's been put on us from years ago, or a thought that we've like held on to, once we start realize that and break those down, everything changes, because then those boundaries aren't there. The door opens itself, basically, because it's been open the whole time. It was only shut by pressure, by external forces. But last but not least, we have the miracle of nature. Thank you, angels, for helping me to reconnect through nature and fresh air. And that is, I mean, yeah, again, just going outside, and connecting with nature, and allowing the sun to really cleanse yourself, even in the wind, when you're in the wind, spinning in the wind, and imagining the wind like blowing off all the dust and debris, all the shatters of war that you've had on you, all the shadows or past memories, and letting them blow off of you. Doing that, you know, going in water, and imagining all the heaviness dissolving in the water, and things of that way, transmuting it using the elements in those ways really helps. You know, even with candle, you can burn a candle and just candle gaze and stare into the flame. And as you stare into the flame, all those negative projectors, all those negative energies go into that candle and light a blaze, or they are just sent and burnt, and, you know, just transmuted to energy. We have these sources, and we have these things, these tools, but not many people use them, or, you know, talk about them much. And we're going to be talking about ways we can, you know, different types of things you can do to heal, different types of like rituals you could say to do to like help with life and stuff of that nature, because life is just a big ritual when you really get down to the nitty-gritty of it. And it's just kind of like finding the ritual that works for you best. Like, do you get up in the morning, go to the bathroom to feel good every morning, or like how do you move, how do you see your how does a good day for you basically start off, you know what I mean? How can you get into like a routine, like a ritual, a literal ritual of doing that every day to improve that and magnetize that energy? But just things of that nature, really just improving the self, so that when we are faced with obstacles that we were faced with, they're no longer these life or death sentences that we're deeming that they are, that they're more of just like corrections, or just like pop quizzes that pop up at certain times, you know what I mean? um but thank you all so much, for all the likes, for everything, for really just being here. I love you all so much. We're all growing, we're all healing, we're all evolving, we're all learning how to move through our own little like game that we kind of have set for us, but we're all doing great. If you're wanting any bracelets, intentional bracelets, you can go to Otter Spirit in the description and use the code Subliminal20 for 20% off. If you're wanting a reading or any other service that I have as well, you can go to the description and email me, or use the order form link. And we will get you set up there. Regardless, thank you all so much for all the likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. And donations, whether they are energetic or financial. I appreciate both of them equally and wholly. I really do. But I love each and every one of you, to the moon and back, tenfold and forever, and I will see you later.